Hey, you know this chord, right? C major? These three notes? If this is C major, then this right here, starting from B, would be B major, right? Except it doesn't sound very major. And it's not. But why not? I mean, these two chords look the same. They're just these evenly spaced white notes. The problem is that to get to the truth of this music theory matter, we need to take in consideration all the notes, white and black. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to look at a foolproof way to build chords from anywhere on the keyboard. Because here's the thing, on the piano, the same chord is going to look different ways depending on where you build it from. Look at F sharp major up in the Black Mountains or G major down in the White River Valley. Why is that? Well, it's because, love it or hate it, the piano keyboard is not perfectly symmetrical, right? It's got these islands of 3 alternating with these islands of 2. And that has consequences. But don't worry about it. Here's the really simple trick. It is super simple. It is just counting. So we've got C major here. What does it take to build a major chord? Well, it takes 3 notes. First of all, it takes the note that you want to have the chord be named after. So C major is going to start on C, of course. And then it's going to take the note that is 4 half steps away from C. So a half step is this tiny little increment. It's when you play the very next note, white or black. Right? So 4 half steps away, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 from C is E, and that is going to give us an interval called the major third. An interval is a distance between notes. This is a major third. It is the foundation of our major chord. That makes sense. Next, we need something that is 7 half steps away. I'll just give you the answer there. So to get 7 half steps away, we're already at 4 right here. We're just going to go 5, 6, 7, right? Because we're at 4 half steps away from our root note, and then 7 half steps away from our root note. We play all that together, and we have our major chord. Cool. So let's look at B, because again, this is not B major. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, that's our major third. 4, 5, 6, 7 is our perfect fifth. That sounds familiar. This is B major. So once you know this, I trust that you can build a major chord from any of the 12 notes on the keyboard, right? But let's go ahead and look at some ways that we can actually practice this, because it's one thing to know how to build them if you're asked. It's another to practice it such that it becomes second nature, right? So one way to do this would be to play things chromatically. Hold on. The chromatic scale is the scale that has every note in it, right? All 12 notes. So when I say practicing this chromatically, and by the way, I'm playing the chord with 2 hands, I'm playing the same thing in both hands, an octave apart. And if we're playing things chromatically, just going up, it's like 3 mountain climbers tied together with a rope, and they are going up the mountain together at exactly the same pace. Great, that's one way to do it. Here's another. You could use this thing called the circle of fifths, which you've probably heard about, which we're definitely going to get into in future videos. Now, here's what that looks like. You play a certain pattern, or whatever you're practicing. In this case, it's just a major chord. And then you play the same thing a fifth away, a fifth above. So fortunately, in a major chord, we have a fifth. So you already know that the next thing in the circle of fifths from C major is G major. I'm going to play a major chord from there. Now from D major, things are going to look a little different. There you go. A major, E major. Now you can see I'm quickly going to run out of keyboard if I keep doing this, right? So next would be B major, and I can just bring my hands down here and play B major from here. Because whether it's high or low, it's the same chord. This is B major. I'm going to jump back down for the E flat. And we've arrived back to C major. Great. Now here's one more way, a third way to practice these. You could learn all of the major chords from the white notes, and you could learn all the major chords that start on all the black notes, like this. The white note major chords. And of course, there are black notes within them, but they start on white notes. Back down. And when I do this, it doesn't really abide by any musical natural pattern, but if it works, it works. So I've done all 7 of the white note ones, and the good news is we're more than halfway done because there are 7 white notes and 5 black notes, right? So let's do the 5 black notes. Look at this pattern. It's kind of the opposite of D major, which is a bump up. This is a scoop down and back up. Same here. Cool, we're done. So you may have noticed that some of these chords do look the same, which is fortunate, right? C major, F major, and G major all have that same phenotype. The same is true of D major, A major, and E major. And some of them are unique. No other major chord looks like this, F sharp major. Same with B flat major, same with B major. But then you got these three that do look the same. Now let's do the same thing with minor chords. And the good news is minor chords are both very different from and not all that different from major chords. Or rather, they are very different in how they feel, but they're very close to what a major chord is. You've got a major third and a perfect fifth for the major chord, right? For a minor chord, you just need a minor third and a perfect fifth. And a minor third is 3 half steps away. 0, 1, 2, 3. And the perfect fifth remains the same. It's 7 half steps away. Because here's the thing with the perfect fifth, is that it's not major or minor. It's perfect, right? So it belongs to both of those chords. It doesn't have any sway over what that chord truly is. Let's go ahead and practice those minor chords from all of the white notes. Here's a unique shape right here, B minor. Great. And the black notes. Awesome. So the great thing about learning these chords is that, as you can imagine, with them you can already play some actual songs. Okay, that was a pretty vanilla, boring way of playing that song by Sam Smith, but there you have it. Those are chords that you know at least. A minor, F major, C major. The other reason that it's worth learning these chords well is that they are the basis for all kinds of more complex advanced chords, right? If I have my C major and I add a major sixth to it, the interval called the major sixth, I've got something called a major sixth chord, which immediately has a more kind of enchanting, playful sound to it. And by the way, I've been talking a lot about intervals in this video, and if that's Greek to you, you might want to check out this other video I did. It's all about just the intervals. Now, one more thing. I don't want to leave you with the impression that by learning all the chords in this video, you know now how to build every major chord. That's not exactly true. You know how to make a major chord from any given note, but there are nearly infinite ways to play any one chord. A big part of the reason why that's true is that it doesn't actually matter what order you play the ingredients of a chord in. This is C major, as we saw, but if I took the G here and brought it down instead, this would still be C major. And if I brought the E down, this would still be C major. Now we're back down to this. Or what if I played C and the fifth down here, which is 2 of the ingredients of our chord, and then the remaining one, the major third, up here on its own. This would be C major too. In fact, this is a really nice, warm way to play a major chord. I've got the fifth down low providing oomph, and I've got the third reminding everyone that's listening that this is a major chord. The third, again, is really important. It's providing the valence of your chord, because as we saw, this is a major chord, but if I played this, this is a minor chord. These are going to provide the foundation for your further understanding of music theory as a whole. In the next video, we're going to talk about scales, and the one after that, we're going to talk about progressions, which is kind of something that combines chords and scales. So, I hope you're excited. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you soon.